knocking letter came this very morning.
Welcome.
Said my baby gone away, and my good luck so gone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear me very good?
Folded that paper, laid it on my bed.
I see I have a problem with my green screen.
Folded that paper, laid it on.
Fixed. I really like the black text on the black background. Really smart.
Every word she wrote me.
Hello, Mr. Wowaski.
Oh, dear.
This is the plan for today. Mainly this. Mainly continuing the USB test PCB kicad project
Through my floor,
that we started before. Is the music too loud?
through my floor. Ain't no sound of
Low-key, when you disappeared, I thought CA took you out. Hell no. Hell no. Like, nuh-uh. Hello, Mr. Hex Studios. Welcome, everyone. Last live stream, we went a little bit hard. I mean, I had some problems. It was painful. So this live stream, I would like to not have these problems. Yes. As you can see in the drawing section of today's possible activities to do, there are some chill things to do in case stuff gets extremely annoying. Also, we can react to some of these videos here. I think these are quite good, but I didn't watch them. They are not pre-watched, so yes. I haven't kept up much with this project lately. What's the TLDR of where you are at with it? Right. You can see the progress bar on the top of the screen, right? I specially made it to answer these questions more easily. So we are building a smartphone, right? In kicad. We need to have a motherboard which connects to the compute module and so on. That's the context. There's a lot of complexity, right? It's very tough and difficult and complicated. So we divided the project into modules, and one of the modules is USB-C, and that's what I'm doing now. I want to have a separate PCB with USB-C. That way I can test it separately, and that makes it easier. You're just splitting a big problem into smaller, more manageable problems. I hope that's clear. I think I'm gonna start in a second. I also have a very interesting lecture. I've got myself... 1 second. Oops. Hello. I got myself Land Rover Discovery Series 1 and 2 Maintenance and Upgrades Manual. And it's in English, because I'm a massive book hoarder, as you may know. I like technical books, so there's... Oops. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here that I probably would not really understand because it's mostly mechanical stuff. But I've driven the car a dozen of times, so it's interesting. Fun fact, I recorded the Spirit smartphone introduction video inside this car.
from your taste.
It's a quite repairable and reliable car, if you take care of it.
All I can do is
Do you plan on making the phone 5G supported? Yes, because we are using the EG25 chip, which I believe supports 5G, but like I'm not 100% sure. I think it does. I'm not currently looking at the specs of this. We've looked at it before. I don't remember. I was looking into doing something like this a good while ago, but I'm not much of an electrical engineer, as I do more firmware software, so I got stuck on my research on cellular modems. Yes, so basically there's the option to use a cheap, like, SIM card thingy module, like the stuff people use with Arduino to make a SMS notification system or something. And there's the option to use an integrated circuit like the one that I showed you, which is more sophisticated, more expensive, and for example the PinePhone 64 project uses it, as we all know, because we have studied the schematics of other phones. I mean, I have, and I think a lot of other people from the community on Discord also have. So for example, the pink schematic here, which I don't know why they chose the color pink, honestly. White and pink, what a beautiful color combination. Hello, Mr. Nima. Yes. You may ask yourself, why am I looking at this specific part of this massive schematic, right? It's because the only thing that's left for us to connect in our test PCB here is the this, and the that one. No, this one is connected. And these are very interesting components, gentlemen. I already discussed them, so I'm not gonna go into much detail. But these are transient voltage suppressors with common mode choke filters. It's like a 2-in-1. The symbol here is quite useful to understand it. Here's the choke, which filters out the common mode noise on both signal lines that get fed into the circuit here. And then there's a transient voltage suppressor diodes. Also, often when we talk about this, we use the shortcut ESD, which is electrostatic discharge. I'm sure everyone knows that. Yeah, their purpose is to, in case of an electrostatic discharge, which is a couple kilovolts usually, to send the power to ground and avoid sending it further down the line, basically to protect the thing. What about IR Blaster? Shame that flagships don't have it. Yes, it is a common topic. I think we even have an issue opened on GitHub. And basically, we want to have an add-on ecosystem, which we also discussed a lot. If you want more information, just read the description. There's the GitHub link, and there's the entire wiki we wrote. So yeah, we want to be able to attach things such as IR blasters through an add-on that snaps on magnetically or something, similarly to Pine64's add-ons. But we'd like to have an entire ecosystem of add-ons that, like, the standard is open and people can create open hardware add-ons and just share them on GitHub or whatever they want. And this way we can form like an ecosystem. Think of it like mods for a video game, maybe. Yeah. For example, I'm looking forward to the taser add-on. Also, the fun thing is that since this is not a commercial product, you don't have to worry about a lot of things. So you have a little bit more freedom. America. Freedom. Yes. Alright. Let's start actually doing stuff. Last live stream, the experience of coming up with the footprints here and the symbols was so painful, I don't even want to think about it. So this is the old integrated circuit, which we had to swap for some reason, which I forgot, to be honest. If I gave it a think, I would probably remember it, but like, who gives a shit, right? Yeah. Maybe we can start working on the PCB. When I do this, that would be very exciting, to me at least.
Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dog.
Alright, so we have four lanes as I see it. One integrated circuit will be for the ones with the index 1, and the other will be for the ones with the index 2. Of course, TX stands for transfer and RX stands for receive. Just in case you didn't know or something.
Now I'm rolling through
It's quite common.
wind hums through my hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rolling through the valley. Wind hums through
Like, I can make mistakes, so
my woman. I'm
be sure to, you know,
coming back.
tell me what's wrong. Oh no. A very special someone joined the chat. Repeating the same joke over and over. He's persistent.
I saddled up my
One persistent son of a
headed out at dawn.
smartphone.
I saddled up my shoes.
All right.
Headed out at dawn.
I'm gonna copy this just so I don't make any mistakes. I'm gonna be very unoriginal and even copy this layout. I mean, whatever. Whatever. How do you guys like the progress bar? Is it clear? Honestly, I stole the idea from Michael Reeves. I really look up to him with his, you know, streaming skills and setup. Like, did I mention he switches his cameras with a gun? If you know, you know. Right? I switch my camera setup with a keyboard shortcut, so like there's a big, you know, skill gap between us. Hello, Victoria. For your information, the chat is not routed for any custom program. I ditched that idea because it was unsafe. Right. I am cybersecurity, you know. I know I will succeed one day when you will get frustrated with this. Succeed with what? With sending a message to remove files into a YouTube chat? Is that what you call success? Removing the French language packet is always very important. I agree with you. Yes. French package is known to cause a lot of problems, right? It should be removed immediately. Right, I'm slow. Transfer pins are going to go up.
Wind hums through my hair. Yeah, I'm rolling through the valley. Wind hums through my hair. You can tell my woman I'm gone and I ain't coming back.
The lyrics are funny. He just said, you can tell my woman I'm gone and I'm not coming back. That's just some Sigma male behavior. Sometimes music is like, the instrumental is beautiful, but the lyrics are just so stupid it makes me want to just explode. Right, okay. Mistake number 1. Didn't tell me, guys. Don't sleep over there. That was a mistake.
I know your town was humming, smoke lay on the ground.
You found a hack, also known as a contraption to get more precision movement than stepper motor in a cheaper way. Well, you could use a reducer,
Face I recognize,
for example.
and my baby can't be
You know.
found.
You could use a micro-stepping driver to get more precision,
Be back by
but then you would lose torque, of course. Okay, I'm gonna delete this.
I left that place in some.
We already routed the D+, D- in the previous stream here. And oh yeah, we decided we're gonna call the output the same as the input, but with an F. F for filtered. I think that's fair. Right. Makes sense to me, at least. So I can remove this. And all of this. Maybe for now, I'm just gonna say do not populate. Just you know, to stay safe.
Heard the church bell moaning.
Yeah. What's the hack? I'm curious. How do you make a motor better? I wanna know.
Heard the church bell moaning down on Beale Street side.
I think this is the last thing I gotta do now before I start the PCB, which is crazy. I will update the progress bar on top, and it will be an epic feeling.
I try to hide.
Man, last stream was just painful.
Now I'm sitting with this guitar, strings hum like they know.
Hell no, just a precise magnetic encoder with a high ratio geared motor.
Yeah, sitting
Okay,
with
so reducer basically.
guitar, strings
Example AS5600, which gives 4K per revolution, and compared to NEMA 17, which gives
when
200
love
steps.
don't live no longer.
Well,
That blues is all you want.
actually, an encoder by itself will not give you more precision. An encoder just tells you what's the position of the motor. You need some kind of a, system that can use that information to improve precision somewhat. For example, by making sure you didn't skip a step. At least that's what I know on the subject. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I'm just a guy on the internet.
Porch light flicker.
Actually, we're all guys on the internet.
Moths dancing like they know the tune.
Incredible.
Porch light flicker on the siding. Moths
By
dancing.
the way, you would never guess what I am drinking right now.
Every breath feels borrowed. But tonight, the world's in tune.
Hello, Mr. K41K. Basically, I am thinking to build a 3D printer with this this technique. Okay. I'm not into 3D printers, to be honest, but I probably know. Yeah, I am drinking milk, that's correct, but with goat milk. So that's some insane combo. It tastes so good. It's a mug of goat milk with mead. And mead is honey in Polish, just so you know. We spell it mead. Okay. All right, that feels good. I think that's pretty much complete. Like, of course, we need to delete this. I think it can stay there. Like, it won't influence the net because it's not connected to anything. However, I think we need to find a GPIO for this.
Let the shadows play.
Or no. I don't know, man. The USB switch was for the BQ integrated circuit, so we're not using that in this schematic. It's in the power schematic. It'll do for today. Goat milk, yes, exactly. Very healthy. Very healthy. It's a shame it's expensive. Okay. We've got the thing. Maybe there's no issues. Okay, I see one issue, at least one issue. The issue is that I don't know if I should filter before or after the USB switch. When the road keep rolling on. I'm talking about the D and D minus signals. Left my baby crying. Said you can't live that way. Why isn't this goat milk tea? Well, because I didn't boil it. I know the standard practice is to heat your milk to kill bacteria, but I trust the source of the milk. So I don't want to boil it because then I lose vitamins and stuff. I paid for all of the vitamins, I'm gonna eat all of the vitamins, you know. Saw the sun in the distance, looked like a burning coin. Saw the sun in the distance, looked like a burning coin. Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dust roll to join. What is a mineral coverage chart, huh? Boy, what are we doing? Vibe catting? Never thought of that before. But that's an ideal. Let the AI vibe cat. It's what? Oh, hell no. We're not the AI anything here. I mean, sometimes maybe, but no. Just open up the stream to see schematics and development, and there is goat milk. Yeah, goat milk research going on. Yeah, here are the schematics. Here you go. I'm wondering if I should filter and TVS the input before or after. I'm thinking before, because the TVS diode should be first in the circuit, you know, because it's supposed to protect the rest of the circuit, so it's pretty logical. What do you guys think? It's just logical that way, right? Right. Right.
The fortune lady told my mama before I saw the sun.
Now it's correct, I think. You can do a coin toss. Now that's one step higher than vibe cadding, in my opinion. Like fucking doing a coin toss.
Sweet women.
Interesting.
In a whole wide world.
Now, I have a story.
Gonna ask him why.
Did you ever have a situation where you wanted to decide on something objectively and did a coin toss,
Everybody knows
but then you didn't like the outcome,
I'm a midnight.
so you did another coin toss until you got the outcome you wanted?
I'm torn.
Or another situation, let's say you don't know what you want, okay? Or it doesn't matter to you, but you have to make a decision. So you flip a coin, and the moment you do it, you actually now have a very strong opinion on what you actually want to do, and like you ignore the result.
I'm gonna
Anyone has this experience with coins? I think coin flipping is a scam, to be honest. It doesn't work for me. Like, it doesn't work, man. Like,
but you know I'm torn.
it's just impossible to apply the result, you know? Like, you have to have such a humongous amount of discipline in yourself. I don't know, man. No, the music is not AI generated. I hope so, at least. Like, the artist's name is Patrick Jordan Patrickios. And this is from the YouTube library. Like, maybe he generated it, but I can't tell. Like, considering the fact that there are stereo effects, I think it's not generated with AI, because they seem quite well made, you know?
Oh, baby.
I don't know. Hard to judge, honestly.
Midnight man. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, it is generic because it's copyright free. That's usually what happens. Anyways, I have some other music if you guys want. That's not generic. 3, 2, 1, go. Guitar. Have you reviewed BeagleBone boards? What is BeagleBone boards? I don't know what that is, sorry. I think I can make the PCB now. Some footprint is missing, but like one error is really good. You know, one error is very good. Component U7 has a fucking problem. Close. Okay, nice. It's going to be quite small. Maybe. Like 70, 50 something. Maybe we can make it a square. Wait, I need to catch up with chat because yeah. But first, before I do that, I want to go to U7 and check what's the fucking problem. This is U7. This isn't made by me, it's imported, so it should be fine. I'll check in a second. Just let me see the chat. So the BeagleBone boards are alternative of Raspberry Pi. So I don't know. I didn't try them. Any general advice for a new electrical engineering student? Well, I am a mechatronics engineering student, so I'm probably in a similar situation as you. However, I have a set of really strong opinions about studying. So like, I don't know if you should take my advice. I'm just gonna say my opinions and you can think about them. And maybe take the advice or don't take it. I'm just a guy on the internet, right? Advice numero uno is that the courses are not enough, in my opinion. At least in my case. I am in Warsaw School of Technology, which is considered the best in the country, but like, if this is the best, then that's pretty sad in my opinion. Yeah, I think to be a proper engineer after you finish studying, you cannot rely just on the courses that they give you. You should probably join a scientific club or something, do your own projects, contribute to open source, do stuff that you find useful and fun. Also, that's a very good way to learn, of course. Well, everyone knows that, I think. But learning by doing projects is really good when we're talking about engineering. So that was advice numero uno. For advice numero dos, I recommend not abusing AI for everything. I think, you know, using your own brain will benefit you in the long run, and the ultimate goal is in the long run, you know. You want to become a person who can solve problems efficiently. And my music is really loud. I'm gonna... I made it lower, 5 decibels. You could up your voice a bit. I'm just speaking really low. Is that better? Is that better? Hello? 1, 2, 3. I think it's better. I'm looking at the meters, it's really good. Anyways, do not overuse AI because you have your own brain and you want to develop your own brain and your own private neural network, not someone else's neural network. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, I'm gonna put my voice slightly louder. Yes, so that was advice numero dos. Advice numero tres, gentlemen, in my opinion, is you should never cheat. I know in some countries it happens more and in some countries it happens less, but here where I live, the amount of cheating on exams and all of the things is just insane. Yeah, so that's numero tres. Don't cheat, because what's the point? I think we should just ask ourselves, what's the point of cheating, right? I think you're just wasting your own time doing that. Probably a lot of people would disagree. I'm sure most people would disagree because, at least in my group in university, most people cheat. So naturally, in my opinion, they either don't give a shit, they just want to pass, get the diploma, and fuck off, right? So that's one approach. Maybe you're just here for the paper and you would just want to fuck off. I don't know. I'm not analyzing it too deep. It's their choice, right? Advice numero cuatro would be that your grades are not very important. I find that often the case is that when you try to do a little bit more than is expected of you, just do a little bit extra. For example, you have a project and you get the requirements, but you want to do something a little bit better, or you want to complicate the project to learn a little bit more because, I don't know, you're just a curious person, right? You want to learn stuff. Then usually that can result in a lower grade because you complicated the work, so it took you longer, or maybe you didn't finish, or stuff like that. That can often impact your grade. So that was numero cuatro. I had numero cinco in my brain, but I forgot. Oh yeah, numero cinco, very important. Last but not least, in my opinion, is that not only the hard skills matter, right? It's not only about how well you can do integrals and how well you use your CAD software and stuff like that. I think that is of course important, but it's not the only thing you should focus on. There are also soft skills. For example, the ability to speak clearly to others and be well understood. The ability to write good text and be well understood. The ability to get your point across without offending everyone in the room. That's things that I think many people look over and just don't have the ability to talk clearly about their ideas. And that's really sad because sometimes these people are super intelligent, but they just come off as super annoying because they just act annoying. Basically what I'm saying is social skills are important. And also the meta skills you learn. For example, discipline. I'm not sure if this is numero 6 or not, but discipline and other meta skills. Learning how to learn. It's really important, I think. And it's a skill that learning is a skill that you will use for your entire life. Especially if you're an engineer, you probably have to learn stuff all the time. So I think that's all of what I have to say. Yeah. I could continue probably, but I think that's the main points. Yeah. I'm gonna look at the chat because I kind of drifted away with my thoughts over here. Hello, Mr. Lost Packet. What matters is if you gain a qualification, that matters the most. Well, I disagree, but we can agree on disagreeing, right? I'm just worried about being able to find a job after graduating. You cannot control the future, right? So don't worry about it. Just as Marcus Aurelius said, maybe you know him. He basically said that you should not worry about the things you cannot control. That doesn't mean you should just not give a shit, right? You're trying your best to achieve the goal, but there's no point in worrying constantly. Oh, what's gonna happen if I actually don't manage to succeed? And it doesn't help you in any way, right? So I know it's hard to not worry, but like, it's easier to live that way, I find. Hello, I talk Spanish, sometimes watch videos of electronic, and today I see your video. Good job, thank you. Indeed, cookie qualifications don't result in jobs now. You can work on nuclear weapons with no qualifications, yet need a degree for some food shops. Well, I don't know if that's true. Do you know someone who... I mean, probably it's a hyperbole or some metaphor you're saying there. Whatever. Yeah, life's very interesting, gentlemen. Interesting discussion, like... I didn't expect this discussion to come up today. Yes, so when I did the update thingy, no net found on component U7 pad V. So I don't fucking know what's pad V. I thought pads were supposed to be numbered. I think we have to... see the library symbol. This looks normal, I guess. Maybe we can try to see the footprint. What a mess. Can I do this? Okay. This is U7. Let's see the footprint. Something. Oh. What is this? It's a circular pad and its number is V for some reason. Is for me? Is V electronics? Guys, they left an Easter egg for me. It's really cool. It's a big issue where people get degrees because they don't know what to do next, so there's overqualification, skills and personality are important. Hello, Mr. EGMWDS, welcome. Well, yes, I think the many people go study some random topic because they don't know what to do, and I think that's not very good. I think that's not a good strategy because it's gonna be really hard to stay motivated. If you don't care about your topic of study, then your only motivation is external. So grades, parents, money and stuff like that. You don't have that internal motivation that you actually care about the topic, right? Did the piece you ordered arrive? I don't think I ordered anything. I'm looking forward to that. Yes. All right, let's try to understand if this is just a ground pad or what is it. Mechanical, please. Hello. So the footprint is correct, more or less. This is the land pattern example. Oh wait, you don't see it, sorry. That's kind of funny from me. Wait a minute. Oh, it's getting chaotic. This goes here, okay. Look. Land pattern example. So footprint. It's similar, I guess. I'm guessing these vias are for thermal relief or something. V, I need some encouragement. Think of a random electrical engineering project I should do. I don't know what's your, like... You need to describe your interests or skills, or what skills do you want to learn. You need to give some more. You need to feed my neural network so I can output something decent, you know? Or I can just fire away, you know? If that's what you want, then I have a list of approximately 200 to 300 projects from different areas, which are, it's a video ideas list, but most of them will probably never be done. Fire away. All right, I'm gonna do that. I just want to know if this pad is ground, so this should probably be connected to ground, right? That's what I'm thinking. Also, I don't know if it's good practice to do it like that. Shouldn't this be a cutout instead of a pad? That's weird to me. So the question is the thermal pad ground or not? It's 90% ground. Like, I need to be sure. I need to be 1,000,000,000% sure. And there's no information. Considering the fact that these pins aren't present here, I'm pretty sure it's ground. Hello, Mr. The Jaded Sparrow. Are we building a smartphone? Yes, that is correct. That is 1,000,000% correct. Hello, Mr. Random Bird. Why are you calling me your lord? I'm not your lord. I have so much to do, but the stream takes priority. Well, like, that's one of the concerns I had when Oh, here's the fucking answer. It's ground. Nice. I'm gonna just set these to ground. If I can. Hello. GND. Got excited there. I lost my track. Yeah, so one of the ethical concerns when I started streaming was, am I wasting people's time? Because I know a lot of people just, if they see a live stream, they just watch the live stream. Doesn't matter if they have an exam tomorrow, right? So, shit. So that's, I feel like I'm taking part of the blame, you know, because I'm giving the distraction. So like, that's a problem, a little bit. But from the other side, you're an adult, or close to an adult, so you should be able to decide for yourself what's good for you. Like, I'm not your mom, you know. They would waste their time anyways. That's also a valid argument. Will it run Doom? Yeah. Yes. You are the one in the golden chair. You mean the yoga ball? Or... Antisocial machinist, hello. Just spent nearly all day working in kicad and now just gonna watch this stream. Hello, welcome. It's fine as I don't want to dig a 5-meter hole by hand. You are improving my health. Okay, so your task that you're procrastinating is to dig a 5-meter hole by hand. Did I understand correctly? Will you be my mother? Sure. This is very stress relieving when coming home from 5 hours of exams. Okay. Yeah, so there's the other part. Maybe I make people feel good or something. I'm not sure, maybe. I mean, you wouldn't watch it if you didn't feel good, right? Did it save? It's very interesting because now I don't even have the option to edit the net. What the hell? Whatever. Oops, I closed it. Alright. Now when I do F8, everything seems to be good. Except for this footprint missing. So that's the last error. Like, I don't know if I ever had a project with 0 errors. That's gonna be historical, you know? Yes, so R1 footprint is missing. Oh my god, there is a dog outside of my window. Is this R1? Yes. The footprint is missing. Can I just use this? I think I can. I think it doesn't really matter. Okay, how will your smartphone look? Very good question. Well, everyone can see for themselves, actually. Follow me, okay? Go to github.com/spirit.org/spirit. Link in the description, by the way. Press enter. Go to wiki. In the wiki, you can search for chassis, or you can just open it here. View progress and click this link. This has been written by the glorious Mavleague. Open the project and just look at that beauty, man. If it can load. This is the most beautiful thing you will see in your life, probably. I don't know how to use Onshape. Yes, so very interesting, right? The most important things are camera, massive heatsink to warm you up when you're cold, hex screws, none of that pentalobe Apple bullshit, and of course it's a work in progress, so yeah, the progress is very like stopped for a second because we need to have the motherboard first and test the screen and so on, so like it doesn't make sense to add any more changes to this. USB-C, microphone, jack, audio jack, right. No, this is mostly not my work, okay? It's mostly not my work. It's contributed by Mr. Mavleague and Mr. Olive Oil and some other people. You should just remember that. I am receiving help on this. I'm not the only one working, right? Fingerprint sensor. Yeah. Very good thing here. Okay, so now maybe someone asked about project ideas. I think I am very well equipped to answer that question. All right. I want to give you some, okay? I'm going to give you some. Make an inductor. Make an induction coil. Reverse engineer something. You can pick whatever you want. Like I have written down to engineer this little power bank I'm gonna show you in a second. Hello. It's very interesting because I bought the battery separately and the power bank separately. You can just screw it off, take the cap off. You can pull it out, and it's just a standard 18650 battery. If the camera can focus, that would be really nice. Hello. 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 Okay, I guess no. But I wanted to reverse engineer this little battery circuit. Oh my god. I'm sorry, it's just too small for the camera. I need to get a better lens or something for close-ups like that. Anyways, you can reverse engineer whatever you want. For example, I also wanted to reverse engineer the STM32 Blue Pill, which I have with me as well. You could learn LT Spice. You could build a trebuchet, but that's mechanical, not electronics. Learn a new microcontroller, just blink its LED or do some other stuff. Make a dishwasher. Like, the world is full of shitty dishwashers. Maybe it's time to at least make one good dishwasher, you know? Make a wheelchair. It's also mechanical, sorry. Unless you add steering and electric motors and stuff. And brakes. Build a wind turbine. I don't know, make a air filter. Make a frequency stabilizer circuit for a generator or something. Hello, Mr. Jobs.net. Thank you for the words of encouragement. I really appreciate it. One interesting video idea I have written down here is stress test Spirit smartphone switches using a CNC milling machine. That's like, hear me out. Hear me out, my man. A CNC mill can do repetitive motions, like pretty much whatever you tell it, it will do, like in terms of moving in 3 axes. So maybe you have seen some footage of people stress testing switches or buttons or some other stuff. Let's say I have a button and I want to know how many cycles it can survive before it breaks. So I would put Spirit smartphone, my beloved, and attach it to the CNC mill and just touch it 1 million times with a piece of rubber or, I don't know, a pencil eraser or something to simulate finger presses, and just measure how much it can take, you know? I think it would be really fun because it would make the CNC mill useful, you know? I'm not saying it's not useful. By the way, I'm very disappointed in your behavior because not all of you watched the CNC mill video. That's a big problem. It's a big problem. So the kicad will continue until morale improves. Okay. Update symbol. Okay, now it should work. So the error went away, but the warning came back. That's love when it happens. Yeah. What's the problem once more? No net found on pad V. Yeah, fuck you. It didn't save. Right. No. There's no way to change the net here. How can I change the net of this? Annoying. Like, I did it. I did it like 5 minutes ago. Why can't I do it now? Okay, I have an idea. No. I thought if I edited the local footprint, not the library one, then it would work. But apparently, nuh-uh. Okay, now I can set it. Okay, so I cannot edit the thing, the footprint. But now if I press update, then I will lose this. That's super stupid. We have a lot of chat today. Please continue, guys. You are doing a very good job. However, the Twitch chat is still empty. That's just unacceptable. I'm considering just removing the Twitch chat here because it's usually just bots and emptiness. Try deleting the via and adding not in the footprint. Yeah, but I want the footprint to work, not only this single element here. Like, it's a good idea, but whenever I finish this and test it, I would like to move the circuit to the main schematic. You know, I would like it to work. So now, if I do F8, then it will remove this, and that's annoying as shit. Annoying as shit. My idea is to use cutouts instead of this, but maybe I will just leave it. I don't know what to do right now. I could do a coin flip. Thank you for the interaction on Twitch. That's very nice. Appreciate it a lot. By the way, I wanted to tell you guys. I think Twitch is. I mean, I don't want to say too much slurs, okay? But I don't really like them. Okay. Basically, I don't know if I can show it right now, but I reached some sort of threshold milestone bullshit thingy, and they immediately send me a pop-up notification. Congratulations on building a community. Now it's time to select your VIP viewers. Like, what the fuck? All of my viewers are VIP, my man. You know, but seriously, on a serious note, I think that splitting your audience into like VIP and not VIP and tier 1, tier 2 is super stupid, man. That's like... Hello, Mr. Terran Earthling. Everyone is a VIP here, gentlemen. Alright, I think I have to start making the circuit, actually. I'll do this. Normally I would use my second screen, but it's occupied. Alrighty. Now, so the first step I would do is to make the board outline roughly. So I forgot the shortcut for the rectangle. Was it Ctrl-Shift-R? No. Shift-R? No. Can you give money on YouTube like you can on Twitch with something? Yeah, there's a link in the description where you can just tip, and then whenever you tip, there's the robot voice that says someone tipped $5, and then there's optionally a message you can add, and it reads the message out loud. I don't use YouTube or Twitch as like default money sending schemes or whatever options, because they just take like a 30% cut or something. I think Stream Elements is a much better option. However, I'm not an expert. This line here is kind of weird. But okay. So maybe I'm thinking the most lines will go from the USB, right? So maybe it's the best to place it here, because if I place it like that from these sides here, left or right, then I will probably have to go around somehow, which would be stupid. Maybe I can figure out from which side most of the USB is coming. It seems like it's all coming from... Oh, I forgot one very important thing, gentlemen. Very important thing I forgot. I need to update the progress bar. Inkscape likes to load for 12 hours. Look at that, gentlemen. We just started the PCB. How much for TTS just entering the info? I don't remember what's the minimum. Like around $1 or something? Not sure. I'm not sure. But we have progress, gentlemen. That's very important. Oh, wait a second. Hell yeah. Oh, we got the progress, gentlemen. We got the progress. How do you like? That's my favorite font, by the way. This is called Terminus Nerd Font. I really like it. Touching the P and PCB. Yeah, because we just started the PCB, so that makes sense, right? Anyways, I hope that makes the live stream more clear for people who don't know what's going on. So now I wanna put the USB-C connector closer to this one. Because here they go in, the differential pairs. On the right side, okay. Cool. Oh, also I have to... I have to be careful about this. This should connect to the like mux or the whatever. No. Here to the switcher. I'm not gonna explain the switcher right now, okay? Because it's... I don't think we want to talk about that. Basically switches the D plus and D minus lines according to this truth table, gentlemen. I hope you know what a truth table is. Wow, that was a good goat milk with honey. All right. Okay, so we decided the USB-C is going to go here somewhere. Let's say here. Now I want the rectangle. I want it to be on the cutout layer. Edge cuts, yeah, edge cuts. Let's make it a square of 80 by 80. That's too big, I think. Like if... Yeah, let's try to fit in this, maybe. If it doesn't work, then I can always increase it. I don't like that the grid isn't working. It should be snapping. Not very snappy. Do I have snapping disabled? Or something? Now this is going to be AI generated music. Just a heads up. But a lot of people actually like it.
I hold you close, we'll be alright. Dancing through the endless night.
The world may crumble, the cities may fall, but here in your arms, I don't mind at all. The stars are dim, but your smile shines bright. You're my...
Okay, it works. I guess it was working all the time, but it was too fine for me to notice.
In the wasteland, my love, to the rhythm of the bombs above. The ground may shake, but I won't let go. You're my shelter when the cold winds blow.
I am giving you my money now. Oh my god. Thank you. Did you send it or... I don't know, it should read it out loud, but it didn't, so... I have now given you 25 PLN, no clue how much it cost me. So...
Hand in hand,
PLN to USD. 25. I tried my best to do it to like have a conversion from PLN to USD, but it's impossible. Like these streaming tools are really primitive, you know. Anyways, let's see how we look. We look good, except we don't have the 3D model, but it's fine, I think. Who cares?
Let the ghouls all moan. We've got love and we're not.
Please check the message. It would have been funny read out. If it didn't work, that's really sad. 1 second.
To the rhythm of the bombs above. The ground may shake, but I won't let go. You're my shelter when the cold winds blow. So let's waltz through the room, you and me, beneath the shadows of a twisted tree. The world may be lost.
So like we have the tip skull. I have it turned off. Okay, it arrived. So thank you very much. It seems like it arrived. Thank you so much. Now I need to find the message somehow. Oh my god, that's so unprofessional on my side. 1 second. Give me just a little second.
Through the ashes and the ruins, my darling, my sweetheart, no matter how far.
Oh, baby, let's dance where the shadows glow. The Geiger count is ticking, but I love you so. In this wasteland of dreams, we'll make it through. With a bottle of Nuka and a kiss or two.
You're my atomic love in a world so wild. Through the rads and the ruins, you make me smile.
Yeah, I found the message, but I'm trying to see why I didn't read it.
And the world's in strife. You're
Because that's really bad.
my post-apocalyptic life. The jukebox
1 second, 1 second. Give me a second, okay?
I'll sing for you. Underneath the cracked stars, we'll build.
I see I got a subscription from a user called Sussy Balls. Very nice.
Forget the fear, even in this wasteland.
Give me a second. Give me a second there. I'm gonna send a test event.
But my heart is sane with your hand in mine. I can take the pain through the fallout storms. We'll find our way as long as we're together, come what may.
That's really, really quite silent.
In a world so wild, through the rads and the ruins, you make me smile. Though the bombs may fall and the world's in strife, you're my one true joy, my post.
Yeah, this is a test event. I'm gonna just... I have the ability to basically test out this stuff.
Underneath the glow of that old neon sign, with you by my side, there's no place I'd rather be. In
Oh my god.
this broken world, you're my eternity.
Yeah, it's broken.
Doo-wop, dee-doo-wop, ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ooh, yeah. The bombs went boom, the skies turned gray, but I
No, you don't have to pay more. I will read the message. Right.
and a little sway.
I'll read the message.
Sing our blues and dance away.
The message was...
Right away, take my blues away.
The message was...
We'll spin and twirl.
Hi, Daddy.
Break of day.
Friendly reminder. In kicad, stability is a temporary state between it works and why is everything on fire because of one missing ground.
We'll spin and twirl.
I think it's quite similar to freecad. It's also very great when it works.
Right away.
If you guys remember, like 3 streams ago, I tried to show off my freecad project and we tried to do some basic thing. And the Xorg session crashed and the entire stream crashed.
Hear the talk of the way
That was very funny.
with his leg.
That was very funny.
My Pip-Boy glow. We're unstoppable, don't you know? Doop-doop, doop.
So thank you for the tip, Mr. Lost Packet.
Oh, right.
That's why MTCAD will rule over all CAD software.
We'll spin and twirl till the
Yeah,
break of
I hope so. I cannot wait to test it. For context, MTCAD is a DIY CAD software by Mr. Random Bird here.
day. Take my blues.
Open source is the way to go. Hello, Mr. John Diode. Like, it seems like I didn't see you for a long time. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know why the messages don't work. It's really sad.
We'll save the day, oh, right away. Take my blues away.
Down in the heart of the Commonwealth,
I'll try to troubleshoot it off stream. For now, I'm gonna focus on
Diamond City's the place,
doing the thing here.
a shining gem for you.
But I'm just gonna send. Wait a second. I can test Nest Stream if you want. With the message, you can have my money.
Grab your
No, I don't want to use your money for testing. Okay, I don't think that's very fair. You know.
traders shouting, kids at play.
But that's very generous of you. Thank you.
From Greenhouse Lane to the market stalls, Diamond City has it all. The lights still shine when the sun goes down, a beacon of hope in this old ghost town. Through the chaos we found our way, Diamond City's here to stay. Oh, Diamond City, bright and true, we've got dreams.
Okay, let's test another one.
Grab your cap and swing on by where hope still shines beneath the
Keen to
sky.
tip Slotty 50.
Traders, traders shout,
Okay, you can hear it barely, right?
moving every day. From Greenhouse Lane to the market stalls, Diamond City has it all. The lights still shine when the sun goes down, a beacon of ghost town. Through the chaos we found our way, Diamond City's here to stay. Oh, Diamond City, bright and true, we've got dreams and a view for you, for you. Grab your cap and swing on by where hope still shines beneath the sky. Diamond City.
I'm messing with stuff. Give me a second. I know that's not very entertaining, but like, give me a second.
Jolin tip Slotty 50.
Okay, did everyone hear that? Gentlemen? I need to know. I'll send another one.
Chandra tipped Slotty 50.
Okay, so it works. So now I need to check if the link in the description works. Man, I love streaming. Just the best thing ever, right? No, I actually do like streaming. I remember one stream. We wanted to do a charity live stream, and testing if everything works was so complicated. Like, it was, man, imagine doing a charity live stream. It was my first time doing something like that, and failing to gather the money because you messed up the the fucking, I don't know, URL or something. That would be so shit. You know, stuff happens, you know. Okay, I think I'm gonna send myself some money.
The lost packet, Adam tipped Slotty 5.
I think that's the...
Please
that's
take
the,
my money.
No, it should work. It should work. Because the lost packet appears in the top weekly tippers. So it makes sense. This should work now. Sorry for that. I apologize. It should be, I should be sure it's working before starting the stream, so I apologize. I apologize. Okay, let's get back into this. Yes, the other component that has the most connections is the mux here. And it's mainly connected to the USB here, to the USB-C port. But we established we want the signals to be filtered and TVS'd before we send them anywhere else. So maybe let's rearrange that a little bit in a more logical order. Okay. Let's do that. Yes. Okay. The first input is the USB-C connector.
The lost packet, Adam tipped Slotty 5. Here is some more
Next,
of my
we
money.
want the filtering and the choking to happen. If I really cared about this schematic, I would modify the symbols to better communicate what the circuit is doing, like add something like this, for example, in here to show the TVS diodes and the chokes. But we're trying to save a little bit of time here, so I'm not gonna do that. Alright, this is related to the connector. Next, after we have filtered everything, we go to the polarity detection, the circuit that checks which way you plugged in your stupid cable. Oh my god. By the way, I think that was my first time receiving a tip, if I remember correctly. It's a very historical moment here. All right. We detect the polarity. This is an extract from the datasheet telling me to reverse the pins if I mess up the polarity detection and just have to flip it. Basically, you can just reverse these pins here. So I need to design the PCB in such a way that it would be easy to reverse them. For example, use a jumper. I don't know what's the specific name. There are these jumpers that you... Oh, exactly. This. Lotbrücken jumper. That's what I wanted to say. Just add something like this to select, you know, how the circuit is connected easily without soldering. Or just add these pins by themselves and connect it with wires, but then it takes more space, but no one cares, right? It's not supposed to be optimized anyways. Pin header with a jumper. Yes, exactly. Right, so we detect the polarity and send it to the mux. Mux is short for a multiplexer, by the way. So it goes like that. Mux can be disabled as a power saving feature. And finally we go to the switch. I mean, not everything goes to the switch, only D plus, D minus. You are going to love the USB multiplexing. I recommend some antipsychotics to go. Antipsychotics to go with it. Man, I can't wait to try it. Like in the beginning, I basically had this, and I thought that I am done with the schematic. Then step by step I discovered more and more interesting things that are problems. And, you know, the schematic grew and grew and... yeah. Initially I just wanted to test the power circuit, but the problem expanded itself exponentially to this. Yeah. What was the meme? That little maneuver cost us 30 years or something? There's this meme, right? So that's me. Not worse than my 23-page schematic blob together. Yeah. Initially, we also wanted to have everything in one schematic, which is, as you imagine, is also not the best way to do something like that. Like, I also initially, there's a lot of things I thought initially, okay? For example, I thought I was going to do it in like a couple months, you know? Omar Alwish, what are you building? Hello, I am building in general, I am building a smartphone, but right now I'm building a test PCB for the smartphone. As you can see on the progress bar, somewhere on top, should be visible here. Yes. Stop trusting your first thoughts, please. Yeah, maybe I should just, you know, inverse them. Whenever I have a creative thought like that, I can just do the opposite and then I'm gonna be fine, right? Makes sense. Okay, you know what? I think I want to go back to the guitar music. Yes. Okay. So these should be replaced with the filtered ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would like to be smart about it, but it's not possible. Just have to manually move this. Maybe it is possible. I don't know how to automate stuff like that. Can you even? Yeah, so these are the TX ones. Mostly I'm trying to use as much shortcuts as I can. But it's still slow. Right. Oops. You can automate, but you don't want to. Okay. Like, the only real automation I have in this project is a Python script to set an entire schematic to DNP, because we have multiple schematics and I wanted to test them one by one, so I'm setting all of the rest to DNP, do not place. Yeah. Okay, we have the filtered transfer and receive lines here. Now I'd really like to do... Oh, I already did this here. This is F, filtered. Filtered. So this is fine. I think we're done here. Now I'm gonna need to endure the pain of losing the ground net here. I mean, I hope maybe it won't happen. Who knows? But I think I'm gonna have to take that, you know, endure the pain of having to fucking redo this like Sisyphus. What CPU will you use? Well, to get that information, go to GitHub. Go to github.com/spirit-org/spirit. Go to the wiki. Hello, Z Marco. Welcome on Twitch. You are probably one of the only people watching from Twitch. Yes, we go to the wiki. And what was the question? The CPU, right? So you can probably just search for CPU. No, sorry. You can go to hardware and electronics. Yeah, so basically we're using the compute module 5, but I thought I documented it a little bit better. Yes. We need to go to overview technical specs. Yes, I am both on YouTube and on Twitch. Incredible. This is the specific information you were looking for. Here you go. And if you need any more information, it's just here. I think it's mostly up to date. I'm not sure if this is up to date though. The dimensions are probably plus minus 1 millimeter. And the chassis, we talked about the chassis like 30 minutes ago. So yeah. Is it a Pi camera? Yes. We can also use computable modules with other specs, I guess. Yeah, assuming they fit. Like, the problem is that they are not pin compatible, I think. But there were ideas to make an adapter PCB for that. It would be more or less easy to do. What is it for? Are you asking about this? Or hello, Mr. Dan. Welcome. Welcome. If you're asking about this, this is just to test the USB-C schematic. Just testing. Just chilling, you know. Right. I need to update. This will be painful. Okay. Yes, as expected, I have lost this. So if I would update again, yeah, now we get the warnings. So that is annoying. Let me see if I can solve the issue permanently. Let's say, I don't know if this makes sense, okay? Just let me cook for a second. Let me cook, please. Okay, let me cook, please. Thank you. Fucking edge cuts, where are you? Here, okay. What if I do this? Looks like I fucking solved the problem. Did I or did I not? That's the very important question. I feel like this schematic is emotionally hostile. Yeah, it is. It is. Add a VNet to the schematic and tie to ground. Yeah, I could do that, but that just doesn't make sense to me. What's the point of adding a VNet? What will your phone have that normal phones don't have? Very good question, and this is a question with a long answer. First of all, you would have very good repairability. Second of all, you have a lower price. Third of all, you can modify it very easily. And I could go on. No, kicad didn't crash, I just crashed. My brain. Could you not just add the vias to the pad pin? You mean like... like in here I cannot do it. I would have to place the footprint and in the PCB design make vias in these places, and that's really annoying because if I want to reuse this footprint one day in another circuit, then it's painful because I have to redo it again. So you are building a phone that isn't a scam. Well, I am not asking for anything from anyone. It's open source, so it's very difficult to make a scam when you're not getting anything, right? The vias are V, try making them 29 instead.
The lost packet, Adam
Can
tip
two pads have the
5,
same number? Is that
kicad-induced mental illness.
Is that okay? That's a good idea. I'ma do it. Experimenting. Okay, let's close. And now update footprint. Oh my god! Not really knowledgeable on that stuff. What was the problem and why did I solve it? Did it solve it? Like, the problem was not very interesting. Basically these pads here, which are inside this big red pad here, weren't connected to any net, because every pad needs to be connected to something, and if that doesn't happen, then there's errors or warnings, and I wanted to have 0 warnings and 0 errors, guys. This is an achievement in my opinion. Like, I don't know if it ever happened to me to have 0 warnings, man. I don't know. I think soon we can react to a YouTube video. Like, I'm feeling it. I feel it in my bones. The Lost Packet. Great minds think alike. Oh, you meant the same thing? Okay. Sorry, I'm not always able to understand everything. When did I start the project? Well, to get that information, you would go to GitHub. To the main page again. And you would go to probably commits. Hello, where are the comments? Here. And scroll down. And scroll down. Oh my god, this is going to take a lot of time. Right. I think about 2 years ago. Maybe if I do git log initial commit, here you go. Here's the date. Assuming you count, you know, the first commit as start of the project. That was a real life example of how using a terminal can save your time, gentlemen. Is it worth it for you? Very personal questions coming here. Yes, of course it is worth for me. Because, like, first of all, it's really fun most of the time. Second of all, I get to learn a lot of stuff along the way. Third of all, I like open source and open hardware. And I like the community that formed around it. Like, it's pretty fun. Am I sitting on a yoga ball? Yes. Yes, this is a yoga ball. I can jump. I am the bouncy one. I have an epic idea. I probably should make the Twitch chat smaller and the YouTube chat larger. I think that would make sense. Right. Let's continue this epic adventure here. The question now is, how much space do I need here? Probably a little bit more. Let's say this much. One thing that kicad lacks, in my opinion, is in most CAD software, when you select from the right side or for the... Oh, wait a second, it has it. Okay, it's just me. Yeah, okay. So there's a difference between selecting from this side or from this side, as you can see. If I do it from the right to left, it selects everything. when I go from left to right, it selects only the things that are in the rectangle. Is the stream broken, gentlemen? Please tell me. Press 1 in the chat if it is broken, and press 0 if everything is fine. Wait a second, I need to... kicad has pushed me past rational thought. I change one net and suddenly I'm questioning every electrical decision I've ever made. Hell yeah. For me it buffers for like a second, like once every few minutes, but otherwise it's fine. Okay. It buffers a little for a second, etc., but isn't now. Okay. Nice haircut, thank you. Thank you very much. The haircut is a result of me trying to cut my hair by myself and failing and having to go to a hairdresser and telling him that I would like Tony Stark Iron Man 1 haircut. I couldn't think of anything better and I had to pick a haircut, so... Wait, you can see the zeros we sent? No, I see them. I mean, there weren't a lot of them. There weren't a lot of them. Oh, there were 3 of them. Alrighty. Sorry. I kinda didn't think. I had to sacrifice the Jon Snow cut to make progress on the project. Honestly, I think the tipping point for cutting my hair was the fact that I was working on the CNC mill and my hair was just getting everywhere. It was a project that required a lot of like bending, turning screws upside down, welding, and just precision work and so on, and having my hair in my eyes all the time was just impossible to deal with. Yes, so next we want to put in these. Also, I'm gonna disable some layers because this is getting messy. Lionel Messi. Layers. I want to remove the FFab layer. Much better. Very nice. Except for the designator 9 here. Stupid. Alright. I think I can close this. I don't need it. All right. Oh, we didn't decide on the stack up. That's very important. Basically, to decide on a stack up, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make it with PCBWay. It makes sense to see their recommendations here instead of inventing custom bullshit, as I sometimes do. And pick one, basically. One thing I never actually got to understand really well is the inner layer residual copper ratio. Like, I thought about this for quite some time and I don't get it, man. I'm dumb. Like, I don't know what residual copper is. Like, PCBWay should do it for free. Yeah, I'm already in contact with them, so everything is set. So does this mean, wait a second, inner layers are thinner, you say? Alright, are they 70% thinner or 30% thinner? Here they're thicker actually, because it's 1/2 ounce and 1 ounce. So I basically, I cannot speak, sorry. I talked to many people about this and didn't find that information. Maybe I'm gonna research it and try to answer that question next stream. Did someone contact you since you started the project for sponsors or something like that? I mean, from time to time, I get contacted by companies that want to do YouTube sponsorships, but no one really wants to sponsor the smartphone project in itself because, yeah. But they don't reach out. Usually people don't reach out to discuss stuff with Spirit Smartphone. It's mostly YouTube stuff. Yeah. So I think I want to make this board 4-layer because it has high-speed signals. Yeah, but I was thinking about making it 6-layer just for fun, because the phone should be 6-layer. So yeah. So these should be as close as possible here, I guess. I'm gonna try not to make it too dense because like it'll be counterproductive because this is just a test, so there's no point in cluttering everything together too much because like
the
this
lost
isn't
packet,
even half a
Adam
millimeter
Slotty
of
6,
distance.
money.
Okay, I think it makes sense to have them here. The filters. After that, it's pretty much... Why is it here? It was supposed to not be... Oh, exclude from board. Okay. As an ecology mayor, this would be the Dream Pocket sensor package, if you could call it that. So, like, you mean the smartphone would be a really useful, like, computing platform for sensors or stuff? You mean like that? That's the idea here. I don't like the music. I'm out of good music, to be honest. Either we listened to it 20 times already, or it's copyrighted, so that's... Yeah. Add a nuclear battery. It's surprising how many people already said that. It can be more durable on field work, so you can have it on you all the time without risking of breaking it. Yeah, and if it breaks, you can fix it. So yeah. Okay, more or less I think the layout is like this. Huh. Huh. Holy moly, you're still live. How long am I live for? Oh my god. Seems like... 2 hours. The insane don't need sleep. Actually, I sleep a lot, and like I try to be extremely healthy. I'm really into being healthy. All right, I think we can basically... 2 hours is a lot. I think this is good progress. Considering I have talked for like 1 hour, this is good progress. I think you guys will now have the power to vote on the video we will react to. I just need to make a poll. This is going to be first option.
If I can't find peace in living, set me free.
Second one. Oh, it's too long. And another option will be this. You entered the stream late. What did I do at the start? I connected the TVS and filters. Okay. Here's the choice. You guys have like, I don't know, a minute to vote for. I'm gonna take a piss and see you in like 1 minute. I'm gonna also wash my teeth. Yeah. Wait a second, I have a special graphic I made for that occasion. Boom! Random fact. To boost engagement, I used to have a lecturer who listened over... Oh my god, the message disappeared. A lecturer who listened over Dyson's 38mm motor. He brought it up all the time. LOL. Lectures do be funny. Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute or 2 minutes.
All I can do is bless your name. Morning comes too early, hands already warm, working for a better day, trying to keep me warm. Boss man count his tally, we just count our time. Fair don't come easy, I had to stand and fight for mine. Oh Lord, hear me now. Working better day, keep me warm. People talk about difference, but I just see the same. Every heart need kindness, every soul need a name, and we're somewhere, sounds of better days. Keep the light inside you, don't let the darkness stay. So sing a song for mercy, sing it clear and kind. We all walk this same good earth, just trying to ease our mind.
Last chance to vote, gentlemen and ladies. What markdown editor do you use? The thing you're looking at right now is neovim, which is a general purpose text editor. Mostly used for code though. How was the P session? Real good, man, thanks. Real good. I know Michael Reeves on his live streams. He takes the microphone with him to the toilet. So, you know, the viewers can have the experience. Yes, this is neovim with a markdown extension, exactly. I forgot the name. I forgot the name, man. No. Render markdown.neovim. Or something along those lines. Yeah, thanks very much. All right, what's the outcome of the vote? 50%. Yeah, most people voted for Dyson's over-engineered, yeah, hand dryer. So like, last 5 seconds to vote. You guys actually now are tied. Wait a second. 40%. So now, if someone votes now, you get to actually choose. Bro bouncing with joy in his eyes. I'm bouncing. Come on, someone needs to vote so we can decide. I want to go to sleep, come on. Come on, man, come on. Come on, man. Oh. I think I'm gonna do a coin flip. I'm gonna do a coin flip, man. I'm gonna ban you all. I'm just kidding. Coin toss, alright. And poll. How to install extensions for neovim? That's a long question, my man. You have different package managers. It depends on your package manager. For example, I have lazy vim. You should just Google it, honestly, it depends. Or watch a YouTube tutorial. What font am I using? This font here is Terminus Nerd Font. Or Terminus Nerd Font. They're pretty much the same, I think. Alright, coin toss. Alright, you know what? We're watching Dyson. I did a coin toss in my brain. Right, we're watching Dyson. And then I'm going to sleep. But now would be a very sad moment to crash my stream with because of the low RAM I have. So I have to close kicad. Nice. Can I just click this? No, okay. I thought I could just go to links from neovim. I can! Oh my fucking god, mate. This is the...
We all know that.
Wait. How many of you know Mr. Electrarch 240? He's a really cool guy. Do a sleep stream? It's pretty funny. Sleep stream. Sleep stream is like the ultimate passive income, you know? Except I'm actually not getting income except from the 25 PLN I received today, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you. All right. I need to set the audio levels and I need to shut the stupid music, mate. All right.
That feeling when you visit the bathroom and get that uncontrollable rush of adrenaline when you see it, hanging on the wall like something from the finest of art galleries.
Oh yeah.
While you do your business.
Dyson Airblade.
How fast does that motor spin?
I broke one of these and it cost me thousands. Yeah.
How's it controlled? How does it detect my hands? Then,
How?
how's it controlled? How does it...
Invisible laser. Who would have thought? Alright, if I'm gonna pause this every 2 seconds, I'm gonna...
You snap back into reality and go to claim your hard-earned reward.
God damn! I love these
recorded
sounds.
an intro, but it was really boring, so let's get straight into it, starting by looking at a few noteworthy things on the outside before we take it apart. This connector on the back is where the mains power comes in. Despite this being a British product, they're using American wiring colours, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah,
Here's the label.
wiring standards are insane to me. Like, I do not understand why can't we have a single wiring standard. The amount of fucking concepts is just like, it looks like someone made it like that on purpose, you know? It looks like the only thing that's really the same is almost the same is the protection wire here. To me, this is just insane, but okay, whatever.
On the back, not much of note really, other than the 900 watt power rating and lack of universal input voltage. Presumably there's a different version of this hand dryer for lower voltage countries.
Okay.
We can see in the spec sheet there's a low voltage variant of this hand dryer for low voltage people. And it appears it was made in Malaysia. Shout out to all the Malaysian viewers.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. On the bottom, there's a switch between 900 watt and 650 watt, which I think Dyson referred to as eco mode. So
Okay, so basically making it less of just okay. Now, if we have any thermodynamics guys in the chat, to me, intuitively, it doesn't make sense. Because the proportions here are just off. 900 for 10 seconds would not be the same amount of energy as 650 for 12 seconds. That's my intuition. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not correct. Maybe I'm not correct, but just making your product do the thing it's supposed to do, but less, and calling it eco mode is sus.
going on internally to
To me.
differentiate these power levels. The fixing mechanism onto the wall plate is very simple. It just hangs from the top, and then there's a pair of small screws in the bottom to stop it coming off.
Is it a pentalobe screw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like an apple screw,
And the last thing we'll look at before
but bigger.
we start stripping it down is the path for the airflow. You can see these two vents at the top of the rear where air is drawn in before it's passed through this HEPA filter, which seems a little bit
There's a filter.
dryer in a bath.
Yeah. It seems unnecessary. What the fuck?
After that, it passes through the fan compressor thing before entering the branches and hitting your hands. So the first step of the disassembly, and probably the only part we can do without any tools, is removal of this HEPA filter. As you'd expect, there's not a lot going on here. You can see the two side intakes and then the central exhaust with
So you have to replace the filter on this?
a nice seal to make sure none of that dirty, unfiltered toilet air makes it through onto your hands. I think if we pull it, there we go. We can get the actual filter out, which looks pretty clean really. Though I suppose if this has been used in a public toilet, this stuff might not be very nice.
Yeah, especially if someone mistakes this hand dryer for a toilet.
At the
Right.
bottom of the hole for the filter, we can see the intake for the compressor. And if I line everything up nicely, we can see the motor in there. So that's nice.
Okay.
Yay! Very nice.
That was easy.
I really hope that's mud. The main compressor section. Let's take a quick look at what's going on this small auxiliary circuit. It's clearly in charge of turning the hand dryer on and off, as well as controlling its power level. Now, before we look at this PCB any further, I think it would probably be worth removing the
It would probably be worth to reverse engineer this. I don't have time. That's my excuse. No, honestly, when I find a PCB, I like to Google the integrated circuits and stuff just for fun. For example, I think I found once in a like old ebook reader a chip from the same series we use in the smartphone for power management, or we wanted to use in the smartphone. So sometimes you can find interesting connections.
internals of the branches, just to give us a better idea of what these two connectors connect to. I must say I'm a big fan of this yellow. It's giving proper retro Dyson vibes. It's a shame that in the finished product, the only part of the yellow we get to see is this little smiley face. And there in the corner, you can see the little hand sensor. I'd love to know how much engineering and simulation and testing went on to decide the perfect width of this little slit that the air gets forced through. How sweet is this? This piece.
Probably more testing than simulation, because like it's quite easy to test, I think.
PCB's got a tiny little copper Dyson logo in the corner, and it looks like they couldn't quite fit it in horizontal, so it's got a bit of an angle.
That's quite orange for copper, but Maybe it is. And yeah, we can see this is also quite orange. Like, it's a weird color for copper, no?
On it. I do like that. Now there's a bit of a plastic shroud surrounding what I presume a transmitter and receiver. Let's see if we can pop that off. Ah, it's squishy. And it's all one package as well. Hopefully there's a part number we can read. Nope, there's not. But
Hell no.
this kind of thing is typically done with time-of-flight sensors these days.
Time-of-flight sensors are very interesting. They measure the time it took for the light ray to move from the emitter to the receiver. So when you know the time, you also know the speed of the light wave. You can get the distance. So it's really like a quite simple mechanism, and it's very powerful.
I thought I'd try my luck on Google, and what would you know? There it is. The good old VL53L3CX from ST. This uses frickin' laser beams to detect nearby objects based on how long it takes to see a reflection, a bit like sonar. It's got some quite advanced features like multi-object detection and smudge compensation.
Okay.
But most exciting for us is that it uses a simple I2C interface, so a few lines of code is all we need to have a
Yeah, LiDAR. Looks very advanced for a simple sensor like that. I don't know.
play. Before that, however, we need to do a little bit of reverse engineering. Here's the pinout given in the
Oh
data.
yeah.
For some perverted reason, it's a bottom view, so we need to flip it upside down to see how it
Okay.
relates to the various traces on the piece.
Perverted
We'll end up
reason.
with a 6-pin connector that links this sensor board to the one with the power level switch, which basically just contains a microcontroller, a switch, and a lot of boring passives.
Microcontroller.
Contains a microcontroller.
NXP. Jobby. I dare you fit it in the phone. It would be really cool actually to have a time of flight sensor as an add-on. Can you guys do it? Like, first you have to design the entire like standard for add-ons. That's a small problem. Yeah.
Controller, a switch, and a lot of boring passives. As we now know the pinout of this 6-pin connector, I've made this little breakout board, which allows us to easily interface with an Arduino. This Arduino circuit then connects the hand dryer to the laptop, which is running some code that I definitely made myself, which shows us the output of the hand sensor, telling us how far away our hand is from the hand dryer, or
Okay.
the sensor. As we saw in the datasheet, there is a lot of stuff that you can configure this.
Well, this sounds like an overkill, to me at least, because like when you put the hands in, it starts immediately. It doesn't like ramp or anything. So wouldn't it be easier to just see if your hand passed over a laser beam, and if you cut the laser beam's path, then you turn over the thing, instead of having an entire like sensor with I2C? Like, maybe I just don't know the problem well enough to make comments that make sense, but wouldn't it be easier to have a laser diode and a photoresistor, for example, or something? The CAN set I designed use that series of sensor, just with a max range of 4 meters instead of 3. Okay. Nah, a hand dryer is not the best option. We have the lawyer add-on to make before. Hand dryer add-on, like, would you want your phone to dry your hands?
Sensor to do, like detect multiple objects. And it also has multiple zones, so in theory it can detect what direction your hand is moving, whether you're moving it up or down or left or right.
Okay, but what's the point?
But this is just a quick demo to show that this sensor is something we can talk to ourselves. Quite nice. Right.
It would be fun to make like this instrument, how do you call it? There's an instrument that changes pitch and stuff when you move your hand.
Time for the compressor. Are you excited or what? Nice. Not much to see from this end at the moment, except some interesting looking mesh, presumably doing clever fluid dynamic things.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I'm scared of fluid dynamics.
Quite interesting. 1,
2, 3, 4.
5, and a little filter thing.
Even more
Really
filter.
weird. I'm guessing they're to sort of break up the vortices a bit like those things in wind tunnels, I think. But I'm sure there'll be many of you watching who can give a much better explanation of what these are doing. So here's a better view of this kind of...
What if it's just a... It was in front of the filter, so what if it's just a pre-filter?
mesh thing.
Maybe I'm wrong, okay, but maybe it's just a pre-filter.
Hopefully this is enough for a fluid expert to tell what's going on. Very funky. Right, now back to the main housing. This front panel should unclip.
You're making a meme of me? Okay. Now you don't have to cut out the microphone.
Oh. That.
A lot of stuff.
Not a lot going on there. Just a big common mode choke. For some reason, the main input connector has
We also have chokes.
sort of what I can only describe as suspension. Not quite sure why. Between the input connector and the common mode choke, there's this heat shrink on the white wire, which looks like
Okay.
it's probably got a fuse in. But let's cut it open to see just in case.
Yeah, it looks like a cylindrical fuse
No
package.
surprises there. Looks to be an 8 amp fast blow fuse. So, yeah. Why don't we cut it off and see if it's got any sand?
Why don't we cut it off?
Nice and sandy. So it's looking at all the
Fuck was that? Let's see if it has any sand in it. Yay, nice and sandy. What the fuck?
control electronics is contained within this housing as well. Hopefully yanking on this doesn't damage that at all. But it does make sense. I imagine it'll be using the massive amount of airflow as forced cooling. Hopefully you can make out in there a pair of spade terminals. I'm going to try and pry them off. There's one. There's two.
Spade terminals, okay.
Here's the main compressor, fan, turbine unit, whatever you want to call it. It's got some nice weight to it. Right, let's take off this cable tie, see if that shows us any more. Now, a small concern is that I don't see any more screws. I just see glue. See the
Oh,
rotor in there? It's got quite a lot of cogging torque. That's nice.
would make a good generator maybe.
Dyson. Lovely. Let's connect it back up and see what happens.
Were there some ratings there? Or it runs directly on mains voltage, okay. 1 kilowatt almost. Okay.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Let's connect it back up and see what happens if we try and turn it on. Right, I'm slightly concerned about the startup torque and the rotor inertia being set.
When you start off motors that just lay on your desk, they can jump or just twitch suddenly. I had that happen once with a bigger motor, and it was quite scary because the rotor hit the table, and it started like digging into the wooden table and throwing chunks of wood, and then it jumped off the table and hit my boxes with electronics I had, and it started shredding the plastic of the box and sending shrapnel all over. And it was the one time when I wasn't wearing my protection glasses. So be careful with motors.
The motor just f***s off.
Yeah, exactly. It fucks off.
There we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Looks really safe.
Yes.
Basically got the original hand dryer rebuilt. I've even used yellow tape for the sensors so they can feel at home. All this plug into the mains. And without further ado, let's power it.
That looks like something you do not want to plug into the mains, but okay.
3, 2, 1.
God damn.
That was quite loud. I'm wondering if there's any nice way we can try to measure the RPM. I've got a little tachometer thing. Right, ready to go. You can see on the end of the rotor here,
You could try to measure the RPM with an oscilloscope. Maybe. You could put it to one of the coils. And I think if you know the amount of coil pairs, then you could figure out the frequency.
this square of shine.
You could figure out the frequency of the magnetic field rotation, and with that you could figure out, you know,
Stuff.
the rest.
That's for the tachometer to look at. So every time it sees that reflective material passing by, it knows the rotor's turned 1 revolution. And in theory, we can just count those up and find out how fast the rotor's going. This is so scary, oh my god. 3, 2, 1.
God damn, 70,000 RPM?
Right, well that was about 70,000 RPM, which is quick. Here's the main compressor next to one from a handheld vacuum from Dyson, maybe about 10 years old.
Okay.
Despite the age and price difference, we can immediately see quite a lot of similarities. Of course, the single biggest difference is that while the compressor from the hand dryer is designed to blow, the one from the vacuum cleaner is designed to suck.
Suck.
One key difference that results in is the single central inlet hole on the vacuum cleaner compressor, in contrast to the large, thin exhaust that runs around the perimeter of the hand dryer compressor. And that's just because as the impeller spins, it throws the air outwards. So the outlet will typically be circumferential, while the inlet will be central. Before we open up
No, that was beyond me. I didn't understand
the
that.
hand dryer compressor, let's take a quick look inside this one as a bit of a benchmark to compare against. And the first thing we can see is that this compressor does in fact have exactly the same circumferential exhaust. It's just that, of course, in the case of a vacuum cleaner, the inlet is the end of interest. Now, I must admit,
Okay.
I've bought quite a few of these old handheld vacuums to get the motors out because I'm quite a fan of their design.
Okay.
Optimized. An example of this cost optimization is the rotor, which is just a single diametrically magnetized cylindrical magnet. You can see it following the screwdriver here.
Oh,
The whole stator and
that's really cool.
controller assembly is also delightfully simple. The stator might look a bit funny because it's a single-phase brushless DC motor, so both magnetically and electrically there's not a lot going on. If I bend these two caps out the way, we can get a better view at the driver board, which is basically just 4 MOSFETs forming a H-bridge, allowing current to pass through these coils in either direction. Position feedback of the rotor is done using this small Hall effect sensor, which sits in this gap between the two sides of the stator. And on the back side of the PCB, there's just
An H-bridge is a type of circuit that's used for driving stuff in reverse, I think. It's basically 4 switches, I think. No? Yeah. So here you can see, depending on the switches you connect, let's say here we have, let's say we have a motor, and let's say we assign plus here and minus here. Let's say we turn on switch 1 and switch 4, then the current flows from plus to minus, so normal polarity. And if I turn on these two switches, basically what I mean by turn on, I mean they start conducting, then the current flows from minus to plus, so in reverse polarity. Pretty nifty. And instead of switches, you just use power transistors, for example, like in the example he showed, right?
just a microcontroller, a gate driver for each MOSFET, and some other less interesting stuff. What is interesting, though, is JLC PCB, who
Oh, hell yeah.
high-quality PCBs. Their 6-layer boards are now available with a free upgrade to VIA in-pad technology and gold plating. The additional layers versus 2- and 4-layer boards allow for faster, cleaner routing, so you can spend less time on boring development and
Boring
more
development.
time on fun testing.
Fantastic.
PCB customers can receive a $30 coupon for use
Coupon.
on boards and a 48-hour production.
6
You
layer.
only have to wait a few days.
48 hour?
6-layer goodies.
6 layer
So,
goodies.
What are you waiting for? Check out JLC PCB after you've watched the rest of this video using the link in the video description. Right, now I've been putting off for a while because it's pretty much inevitable that as soon as I open them,
I didn't skip it because if they support him, I want to support them, you know? Just like simple mechanics.
I'll think of another test we could have done. But I've got bored of trying to plan ahead, so let's take it apart.
Ah, yes, that's a classic.
Nice and easy. Hopefully it comes apart that well. Of course, we can now see quite a lot of circuitry on top, but we'll take a closer look at that later on.
It's interesting, like the color of the copper is like yellowish. Maybe it's the camera or something?
One thing that I find quite intriguing is these enamelled wires that come down around the outside of the Y-cap. They appear to be a different gauge to the wire used for the stator windings, so I'm not quite sure what they're doing.
Desolder gun. What was that?
Yay! Right, here we go. We've got the two parts separated. I'll just tidy them up a bit and then we'll take a closer look. But just before that, these two mystery wires seem to go down to some kind of magnetic component deep in here. You can just
Maybe it's the starting coil? Maybe? Like, induction motors are black magic, probably. But I think this is the starter coil. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm stupid, you know. Maybe I forgot. But maybe.
Down in that hole. Looks very interesting. Not quite sure what it is. So here's the power electronics. It's quite similar to what...
It's a brushless DC motor. BLDC motor. Do they even have starter coils? I think no. I think I lied. I don't know.
in the vacuum cleaner. 4 switching devices, this time IGBTs rather than MOSFETs, which is quite exciting. This runs at much higher voltage. One thing I quite like is how little surface area these heat sinks have. Because there's so much airflow, there just isn't really any need for surface area.
Nice.
Again, similar to the vacuum cleaner motor, we can see a Hall effect sensor here.
I have a induction motors are very simple. The textbook is only 25 kilograms.
For rotor position.
I have a question because I had this random idea in my head. Roughing a surface will increase the surface area of it. So if I take a heatsink or a radiator or whatever you call it, and I rough the surface with sanding paper, let's say, will I improve the heat transfer to the surrounding air? Will that improve cooling, basically? That's what I'm asking. Cool headphones. Oh, Mr. Grachunia. Hello. It's very funny because Mr. Grachunia is the person I bought these headphones from. They were broken and I repaired them.
There's a fat rectifier here to take the mains AC into DC, but interestingly very little capacitance. It seems to just be using these 2 film capacitors. And I think I've just worked out what these mystery connections and that strange toroidal thing in the motor do. I think that's just an inductor for power factor correction, and they've just buried it inside.
Oh, power factor correction, gentlemen. Of course. Inductors and capacitors change the phase. Right, so you can do power factor correction. I'm not qualified to talk more on this.
And when we take a look at this simplified schematic, we can see that is indeed the case, with the toroidal inductor in the motor making up a big part of the input filtering, along with the common choke we saw earlier, and these 2 film capacitors. After the mains input has passed through these filter components, it reaches that big rectifier package containing 4 diodes that...
Okay, so choke filtering all of the noise. Then we have power factor correction inductor, and then we rectify it. Then we smooth out the waves after rectifying, I guess. And we have the H bridge, which drives the motor here. Here are the permanent magnets, I guess. And the coils. Maybe.
Turn the AC into DC. That DC then needs to be smoothed out, which is the job of these blue film capacitors.
Yes.
Total capacitance of just 4.4 microfarads suggests it probably isn't that smooth. For comparison, this tiny little Anchor power supply has a 33 microfarad capacitor, and it's only 30 watts, while the hand
We could simulate that, but I don't have like too much time.
dryer is 900 watts. It's an interesting design philosophy. Use the smallest possible DC link
What do you mean cheese has a good power factor?
capacitance to save on cost and size, and then just use a huge filter inductor to keep all that horrible high-frequency ripple and noise inside the drive, blocking it from reaching the mains. As we saw, there's 4 IGBTs forming a full bridge, allowing the DC link voltage to be connected to the motor windings in either direction using pulse width modulation or PWM, allowing for control of the current, which is measured by sensing the voltage drop across these 30 milliohm shunt resistors.
God damn. That's a lot of information.
Let's now quickly take a look at one half of the full bridge, where we can see the gate driver circuit that turns the IGBTs.
Okay.
As well as a MOV or metal oxide varistor to clamp voltage spikes, protecting the IGBTs.
A varistor is a voltage sensitive resistor, basically. And it increases its resistance with voltage. Cook it with electrical forks, a very fun DIY dev trap. You mean cheese? I think cheese actually has a very good power factor because it is, it's like, it doesn't impact the phase of the power that goes through it. So like, all of the power that goes through it is used to do work. So I guess it's very efficient.
Also a small multi-layer ceramic capacitor that provides a little bit of higher quality capacitance closer to the IGBTs than the film ones. This capacitor is here to deal with the overshoots and high frequency ringing that occurred during switching that the film capacitors with inferior parasitic resistance and inductance aren't as good at handling. Looking closer at the gate driver circuit, there's not really anything special going on here. They're using a fairly typical half-bridge driver IC and asymmetric gate drive, where turn-on current passes through the top resistor, while turn-off current also passes through the lower resistor.
That's complicated.
The diode conducts, allowing the gate of the IGBT to be discharged much faster than it's charged, which is handy for reducing overshoots and EMI at turn-on, while minimizing switching losses at turn-off. When it comes to non-power things on this board, there's a PIC microcontroller for controlling things, and a buck converter
Okay.
powering all the low voltage bits, like
It's funny how all of the packages are just obscured with black goo. I guess to protect the intellectual property, blah 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 blah.
sensors and the aforementioned microcontroller. There's also this NTC thermistor for measuring the ambient temperature of the airflow
A thermistor is a resistor that's sensitive to temperature.
around all this electronics, so the hand dryer knows if things are getting a bit toasty and can turn off. Now, before we take a closer look at the motor, I want to try and get this end off, though it does look very well glued on.
Okay.
Right, that's now allowed us to see quite a lot, which is exciting. We can see the impeller on top, and we can also now get a closer look at the exhaust. And
Oh, impeller is the reverse of propeller. My brain just connected two dots together, like two neurons formed a connection.
So there's this main transparent section, and you can also lift it off to reveal a separate white piece, both of them containing numerous turning veiny things. Unfortunately, despite my best efforts to pretend I know what I'm talking about, I can't really go into detail on what these are doing beyond just directing the airflow. But once again, I'm sure some of you can. And now for the most exciting
Compressing the air, I think.
part, the impeller and motor itself. Trying to turn this, the cogging torque is once again very visible. And this is the cause of that strange boinging sound that you can hear in the majority of Dyson products, hand dryers, hair dryers and vacuum cleaners, anything with one of their very high-speed motors. This so-called cogging torque is a result of the attraction between the very strong magnets on the rotor and the steel of the stator. It's particularly pronounced in these motors because they have an equal number of magnet poles and stator teeth, meaning when the rotor is in
What is a stator teeth?
a happy place, all of the magnetic fields are perfectly aligned. This is in contrast to conventional three-phase motors, where there are always more teeth than poles, meaning whatever position the rotor's in is never fully magnetically satisfied.
Okay.
Applications that have something important attached to the shaft of the rotor, like the wheel of a car, require minimal cogging torque. Otherwise your car will feel like this when you're going slowly. It's outside the scope of this video, but if it's something you'd like to see covered more, let me know. Now there is something very exciting about this rotor, which we're going to take a look at in a minute if we can get it out, but if any of you think you know what it might be now, leave your guess in the comments. On the top of this assembly next to the
What?
scope of this video, but if it's something you'd like to see covered more, let me know. Now there is something very exciting about this rotor, which we're going to take a look at in a minute if we can get it out, but if any of you think you know what it might be now, leave
Very exciting. Maybe the drill hole here, which has been probably made to make it more balanced or something. Remember to plug the Discord server. Yeah, guys, join our Discord server. It's a very good server.
your guess in the comments. On the top of this assembly next to the impeller is this O-ring, which I accidentally noticed earlier comes out, and when we take it out, everything becomes nice and loose, and I think it might even let us remove the rotor. But before we can remove the rotor, there's something we need to do to make sure we don't damage it. At the moment, there's a very small gap between the rotor and the stator to allow it to spin, called the air. Once
Yes.
we remove that O-ring, the rotor will become loose, and its magnets will pull it into the side of the stator. That means when we come to pull the rotor out, the sharp steel of the stator is going to scratch it. So, to protect the rotor as we remove it, what we can do is insert some paper into the air gap between the rotor and the stator.
Oh my god.
We can't use any old paper though, because the combination of the strong magnets and the sharp steel will basically just act like scissors and rip it apart. So what I'm going to use today is a small piece of Nomex, which
Nomex.
is basically super paper. Sometimes it can be quite fiddly to get this on.
Is that a thing you do to remove rotors, or is that his invention?
Right, I think that's about as on as it's going to get. Let's pry off that O-ring and see what it does. You can see this internal piece of plastic is now loose, and if we flip everything around, you can just about see that the rotor's also loose.
What was the speed of the motor? 40,000 RPM?
Oh my gosh, that is extremely exciting. Not only is the rotor out, but I've got myself a new ring. You
Okay.
can see now how the Nomex prevented the rotor from rubbing on any of the stator, as it pokes out on the other side too. Like in all motors, the stator is made up of many thin layers of steel.
Yes, that's very interesting. The layers are packed like that,
Electrically insulated
and insulated, as he said, in order to reduce losses due to eddy currents, I believe.
from one another to prevent circulating eddy currents from flowing. In this case, the stack consists of 90 sheets, each just 200 microns thick. As mentioned
You do the same thing in other electrical machines, such as transformers, for example. It's called packaging, I think. You basically make the core of the transformer of like thin sheets, just like here, in order to let the magnetic flux flow through it without a problem, but give a lot of impedance to the eddy currents, so they cannot flow.
Previously, both of these motors are single-phase brushless DC, but what does that actually mean? Well, the vast majority of electric motors are three-phase, meaning they're connected to the supply with 3 wires, allowing 3 mostly independent currents to flow. Each of these currents produce a magnetic field in the stator that can be used to push or pull the rotor a little bit further around its never-ending circular journey.
Yes, this is black magic and it's very cool.
As I've only got 3 hands, let's just consider the pushing part for now. It's clear to see how a 3-phase motor like this produces a rotational force or torque, as there's always a linear force being applied at a distance from the axis of rotation, and torque is force times distance. Single-phase motors, however, are a bit messy, because there's only one controllable magnetic field rather than 3, which introduces a few big problems. The first is that they're quite hard to get going, especially so for permanent magnet motors like these.
That's why
As we saw earlier when looking at cooking torque.
I thought there might be a starting coil to give the initial push or something.
The rotor has certain positions in which it likes to chill, and unfortunately for us, these are exactly where we're not able to produce any torque, because the force we can produce passes straight through the centre of the rotor, giving 0 distance and therefore 0 torque.
Yes.
The other problem with single-phase motors is that when they are spinning, we have no way to control their direction because with just one current, we can only apply a force forward and backward, not left and right. Somewhere that we can all see a single-phase motor not knowing which way to spin is in a microwave, where the turntable will turn in whatever direction it feels like.
Wait.
Straight through the centre of the rotor, giving 0 distance and therefore 0 torque. The other problem with single-phase motors is that when they are spinning, we have no way to control their direction because with just one current, we can only apply a force forward and backward, not left and right. Somewhere that we can all see a single-phase motor not knowing which way to spin is in a microwave, where the turntable will turn in whatever direction it feels like.
Really? Anyone can confirm that? Like, I believe him, but that's really weird. I was pretty sure usually you have some circuit to start it off in one direction. I think the purpose of the circuit was to change the phase of the initial push. I don't know.
While the direction of rotation doesn't matter in this case, it really does for Dyson. Imagine a vacuum cleaner suddenly blasting out all its muck, or a hair sucking up all your hair. Just
That would be funny if it worked randomly. Like, it would...
because the motors decided to spin the other way. So how
Nice.
are we ensured that it always spins the right way? Let's take a closer look at the vacuum cleaner motor to see what we can learn. Analysing the magnetic behaviour of the stator and rotor using
He scanned it.
analysis software
Oh my god.
gives us these pretty colours, and reminds me that I should hurry up with this video so that I can revise for my exams. So
Yes.
let's take a step back and just consider the general stator geometry, which is quite funky. There's a clear asymmetry in the stator teeth, where these little lumps have been added
Here.
to encourage the rotor to spin in the right direction. These are so effective that when I made my own controller for this motor a few years ago, I still couldn't get it to spin in reverse, no matter what control tricks I had.
That's funny.
The stator of the hand dryer motor doesn't appear to have the same asymmetric design, beyond this small difference in the width of the tooth wedges, which I think could just be me going crazy.
Oh
So
my
maybe
god.
Dyson have come up with some other control-based strategy for their newer motors. There's still one big unanswered question though. Why? Why bother with all this complexity just to run a single wire? Well, unsurprisingly, there's more to it than just the number of wires. While design may be more complicated than it would be for an equivalent three-phase,
I still don't get it. Like, how does that... is the purpose to make the field go off axis somehow? I don't know, man.
motor, what you end up having to make millions of is simpler and cheaper to construct, because there are fewer coils to be wound, the stator doesn't need a continuous yoke, and the electronics is also simpler, needing only 4 switches rather than 6. These Dyson applications of moving lots of air very quickly are also perfect for hiding the weaknesses of this type of motor. There's essentially no starting torque, which makes getting going much easier, and high-speed operation allows the inertia of the rotor to smooth out the cogging torque, so that's only really an issue at low speed, hence why you only hear it when the motor's about to stop. These applications also represent very stable and predictable mechanical loads, meaning there's no need for complex control, reducing sensing and processing requirements.
Okay.
And finally, let's take a look at the part that I find most interesting.
Lovely.
Just out of interest, do other people feel the same way? What part of this hand dryer do you find most interesting?
What do you find the most interesting? To me, I think it's the control circuit. Or the asymmetric metal sheets to guide the magnetic field flux. Black magic thingy.
I think I can do some kind of poll in a YouTube video. I don't know how it works, but I'll put one here and we can learn together. Right, so what makes this...
Where's the
what
poll?
makes this rotor special? Well, you can tell from its grey appearance and sort of striped pattern that this has a carbon fibre sleeve.
That has a carbon overwrap rotor.
Which is usually something that's just reserved for high-speed motors used in sort of aerospace and motorsport applications. This is because the carbon fibres need to be wrapped extremely tight around the rotor, making it quite an involved and costly process, not very well suited to mass production.
Yeah, I thought initially it's just turned on a lathe.
When you reach this kind of speed with a motor, you've basically got two options. Either have a rotor with a very small diameter to keep the centrifugal stresses that are trying to rip it apart under control, or if you need more torque and which both require a larger rotor, your only real option is to wrap it in carbon fibre like this, because carbon fibre strands have an absolutely insane tensile strength. So when this is spinning over 1,000 times a second, and the magnets are experiencing around 40,000 G, trying to fling them off the rotor at 120 miles an hour.
So the carbon fibers are just there to hold the magnets?
These strands of carbon fibre will be put under tension, which is their speciality. In case you're wondering what this little cutout is at the end of the shaft, that hole will have just been drilled to balance the rotor.
I said that.
Because of course at 70,000 RPM, balancing is quite important. Now, I think it's fair to say that the motor is the heart of the hand.
Hi there from New Zealand. Hope you're doing well with your phone development. Yes, I'm doing well, thank you. Right now I'm taking a break. We're watching inside Dyson's over-engineered 1,000-pound hand dryer.
And the rotor, well, that's the heart of the motor. But there's actually one more layer of dissection to go, because the rotor has a neodymium heart.
Neodymium.
Now, cutting carbon fibre is pretty nasty because of all the particles you get off it. It's a bit like asbestos. So to stop them from getting into the air and into my lungs, we're going to be cutting this underwater. Doesn't help that the knife sticks.
With a knife? Bruh. I mean, okay.
It was so straight at the start. Now you're supposed to use special blades to cut carbon fibre like tungsten carbide or diamond coated, but as this is quite thin, I think I can...
That's a really cool video, like, he really did tear it down, like, to the last bit, you know.
can probably get away with a nice, fresh steel blade. Oh. You can see here a little piece of the enamel coating that they put on to hold it all together. Ta-da! Not quite as exciting as I was hoping. I'll get these bits dried off and we'll take a closer look. Here it is. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit underwhelming. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting really, because it seems pretty obvious now that a mass-produced product like this isn't just going to use 4 off-the-shelf magnets tied together with carbon. It looks like, similar to the vacuum cleaner motor, this is actually just one single magnet that's been very cleverly magnetized to behave like multiple magnets. It's quite cool. And this means the carbon...
How is that possible? Can you take a single piece of ferromagnetic material, let's say neodymium, let's say a single piece of neodymium, and magnetize it so it has more than 2 poles, That's absolutely nuts.
Sleeve isn't here to hold magnets to the rotor, it's actually here to keep the single magnet in one piece, because the neodymium iron boron alloy used is very brittle, and has a tensile strength about 100 times lower than carbon fibre. There's a little serial number on here too. I guess that's all internal stuff, so we have no idea what it means. Maybe it's someone's phone number. I must admit,
Yeah.
one thing I'm quite pleased about is that it's still going to look just as impressive on my shelf of cool things. And the carbon sleeve came off perfectly. How cool is this? A tiny little tube of carbon fibre that I can just slide over the shaft to show off to anyone that ever sees my shelf. Depressing note, it's time to end. In just 30 minutes.
Why is it a depressing
Way
note?
down to a single magnet. I hope you found it as fun and interesting as I did. Thank you very much for
Nice.
watching, and until next time, bye!
That was insane. Okay, I really want to sleep. Gentlemen, thank you very much for today. Thank you for your support, everyone. Check out our Discord, check out my Patreon, like the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Hello, Volkinex. Been looking into Wi-Fi. Interesting. Unfortunately, I really have to go. I'm supposed to wake up kind of early tomorrow, so... yeah. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.